Hello and welcome. I am Mary from River's Journey Wellness, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of, I call it Reiki infused meditation, a little bit of guided meditation and Reiki for you to heal old wounds. Sorry, I'm grabbing my little tools. I'm grabbing my feather and my sage just to sort of clear the energy and get us started. So, for those of you who don't know me, who we haven't met yet, I am a Reiki master. I know that that word is sometimes a little cringy for people, but that just means the level of my training. And I'm an intuitive coach with a little bit of energy guidance, and then I'm also a holistic therapist. So I wear a lot of different hats, but I'm trying to blend them all together so that I can, well, honestly, be my most authentic self. So, welcome if you're just joining me for the first time, and welcome back if we've already met. So, I know healing old wounds can sometimes be a little bit of a trigger for people. And I just want you to know ahead of time, it's sort of like what do they say, like a disclaimer that if you've had experiences with some significant trauma, this probably isn't the place for you to start to do a little bit of healing. However, if this is maybe like I say, big T or little t trauma, if this is a little t trauma or just something that's been a struggle for you to get over, then this is probably where you can start. And then you can keep doing your own work as as you feel drawn to or as you feel needed. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there in case people have had some significant stuff happen in their lives and they feel like, just one amount or one time having a little bit of Reiki or one meditation isn't going to heal my trauma. Probably not. And that's not my goal today, not to heal any major traumas, but just to start that practice or process at least of healing our wounds because we have the capacity, we have the potential. I think sometimes we limit our abilities or we kind of poo-poo what we're able to do, what we're capable of. And so this is just kind of a reminder that, like, no, you can do this from within. And I've been talking to my membership all about winter energy, and that this time of the year, at least in the northern hemisphere, is all about like going inside, doing the inside work. The healing is an inside job. So hopefully this is something that you will be able to appreciate. Hopefully it's something that will be helpful for you. Normally I light a candle. I'm not going to light a candle today. The one that I had picked out, I completely forgot, has a wood wick. And so sometimes it sounds like static on the microphone. So I am not going to light that, but you're welcome to light a candle for yourself, setting your intention if you do know what old wound you'd like to heal. If you have any questions, any comments, you're welcome to put them into the chat. If you watch this later on the replay and something comes to you and you have a little bit of a question, you're more than welcome to put it in the comments section of the video. I do respond to those comments. It's just me. I'm just a sole practitioner, so I will be responding. If there's something that you want to ask privately, you can always send me an email from my website. So that's riversjourneywellness.com. And you can just send me a private message if you choose to do that. So we're not doing a whole lot of an intro today for two reasons. One, I just want this to be a healing process for you. But two, people get really, really, I shouldn't say really bent. I was gonna say really bent out of shape, and maybe that's a little too harsh. But people sometimes get frustrated when I tell them, we've got to look at your thoughts. We got to look at what you're telling yourself about the wound, about the experience, or about where you are right now in your life. And it's like, no, I want to, blame the other person still, or I'm still stuck in like hating myself for putting myself in that situation. And they don't really want to go through the actual the process of just examining what are we telling ourselves about the wound, because that's the thing that's keeping it alive. That is the thing that's keeping it feeling like a wound, feeling like it hasn't been able to resolve itself or heal. And so I didn't want to set up too much other than like we are going to kind of go through that process within the meditation. So hopefully it is helpful. Hopefully you're somewhere comfortable where you can just relax and just sink into the energy. Like I said, or I think I said, I'm going to be sending Reiki as well. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure I did say that. So I had written a little meditation down. So I'm going to start with that. I'm actually going to spray a little bit of sage on my hands, just because I want to make sure that there's nothing that I could be sending through Reiki would be at all detrimental to you, or you couldn't pick up my negative energy or whatever is going on. But it just for me is like that intention setting of like I'm sending fresh energy. So if you've never had Reiki, I always forget to kind of add this piece. If you've never had Reiki, never experienced it, there's nothing that you have to do. It's just being open to the experience, open to receiving, and you can just affirm that in your own mind. You can say it out loud to yourself if you want to, but just open, open to receiving. It's always for your highest good, whatever you're needing. So there's no worries about picking up something that's not yours or not at the vibration frequency that you'd like to be at. There's no worries about picking up somebody's energy that they're releasing. It doesn't work that way. So you just have to be open to receiving and then whatever comes through for you. So sometimes people have, they can have sensations, they can smell things, they can see things, they can have messages come through. Sometimes animal allies come through. And sometimes they just feel relaxed, and that's okay. So the Reiki is doing what it needs to do. The energy is moving wherever it needs to go. It's kind of a wild concept, but it has its own intelligence. Energy has its own intelligence. So it knows where to go within your body. So if you're like, I just felt a little relaxed or I got a little bit sleepy, that's totally fine. There's no like wrong way of receiving. So for all the criticisms and self-judgment we have, that is not one that you need to worry about. So that being said, I invite you to get comfortable, and I am going to pull up my meditation, and I'm going to bring my microphone a little bit closer because I know that I do talk a little bit. I've heard from many people that I talk quietly during Reiki or I talk quietly during meditation with intention, right? I don't want to startle anybody with loud sounds, although I'm just adjusting the mic right now. I don't want to startle anybody, or I don't want to disturb them when they're in that state of relaxation. So, like I said, today we're going to explore healing old wounds with a combination of spoken words and affirmations and Reiki. So, again, if you haven't already, I invite you to get comfortable. Just noticing that you're safe, you're comfortable in your own space. I invite you to take a couple deep and cleansing breaths. Just beginning to relax the body. And if you do notice any areas of tension or tightness, just take a moment to adjust the body. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting up like me or laying down. I'm just going to take a moment to invite in our Reiki guides, our spirit guides, any animal allies, any ascended masters or archangels, all for your highest good. Inviting in any archangels or goddesses to support the energy, to support the process of healing from old wounds, so that they can pour their medicine into this space. If you have an intention, you're welcome to set it. I always just set a really simple intention when I'm working with other people that they receive what they're needing in this moment. Again, all for their highest intention, highest good. The energy meets you where you're at, so there's no worries about that. And if it feels safe, I invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already, allowing yourself to go deeper within, reconnecting to your highest self. Simply continuing your slow and deep breaths. With each inhale, drawing in fresh air and energy. This energy we call universal life force energy in Reiki. And with each exhale, releasing any stagnant or stuck energy. And if at any time during this meditation you feel unsafe, open your eyes and ground yourself back into your room, back into your present time. So I'm going to begin sending Reiki as I'm talking. So if you have your eyes open and notice my hands, that is what I'm doing. So imagine a luminous ball of energy dropping down from the universe, entering your energetic body. Notice the brilliant color of the energy. It shimmers and shines, sparkling like an endlessly multifaceted gem. As it shines and shimmers, it shifts out of being a ball and simply into luminous light. This luminous light energy is a gift from the divine, warm and radiant, loving and compassionate. This luminous light heals. With each breath, allow the light to fill your energetic body, filling your physical body. Holding you in its entirety, safe and held, witnessed and seen. Take a moment to acknowledge, what is that old wound? Notice your thoughts about the experience, about the wound. Notice what arises when you notice your thoughts. Are there any sensations? anything that you feel within your body. Remembering you are safe. You're not re-experiencing this old wound, but you're simply observing, like watching it from a distance, or as if it's on a screen in front of you, without judgment or criticism for your reaction or role in this old wound. Allow the luminous light to fill any part of your body where you're noticing any reactive sensations. With each breath, drawing in more of that luminous light, softening and healing the sensations. Begin sending yourself compassion to allow for that healing. With gentle awareness. How is this wound keeping you frozen? Like that record needle that's stuck on the same old song. What are the stories you are telling yourself about this wound? These stories are keeping the wound fresh and the pain frozen. Take a deep breath in, drawing in more of that luminous light. Allow the light to thaw that frozen pain. On the exhale, releasing the pain from your body. Like along a peaceful stream, allow the water to flow away from you, carrying away the pain. Carrying away the stories. Allow with love and compassion for new clarity. These thoughts and stories are not your truth. Replaying them in your mind, retelling the story to yourself and others doesn't serve your highest good. With each exhale, allow the stories and pain to be carried away. Like a small leaf or flower moving down the stream. As the leaf or flower moves away from you down the stream, it appears smaller as it travels further from your body. With the support of the luminous light and the highest frequency of love and compassion, begin to accept this has happened. this wounding occurred. I didn't like it, but it happened. Begin to see it as it is, simply a moment from your past. See all the other moments that have occurred since, and know so many more moments will continue to unfold. Take a deep breath in and allow for what you do want for yourself in this moment to appear. What if I allowed this old wound to heal? What do you want for yourself in the next moment? What are you ready to change, to shift, or to heal around the wound? Take a moment to get clear on what you want to experience instead of the pain. See what possibilities could exist if you released the pain, released the wound, and allowed it to heal. Give yourself permission to let go of the wound, release the wound with love and compassion. Send yourself forgiveness with love and compassion. Open to new possibilities that come with healing, with love and compassion. Give yourself permission to allow the wound to continue to heal moment after moment with love and compassion. Your highest self is waiting to hold space for you to release the old wounds, the stuck thoughts, the meaning you have assigned to the experience. Affirm to yourself, I am opening to deeper love and compassion. To ease my suffering, to heal my old wound, to open my path forward. As I allow, my vision increases to a higher perspective. Affirm to yourself that you are choosing forgiveness, grace, and gratitude, allowing that to grow and expand. I am choosing healing so I can shift and transform. Take a moment to send your higher self thanks and gratitude. Your spirit is always patient with your human self. Sending thanks and gratitude for any of your guides and guardians who support you now and will continue to support you on this journey of healing. It is time to release this meditation, knowing that the healing will continue in your own time, bringing yourself back to present, back to your room, back to your body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes if you need to wake up the body. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Just a little bit of sound. So hopefully, I'm going to move this away so I'm not super loud. So hopefully that was a good experience for you just to start not only getting back present with yourself, but really seeing what have I been telling myself? What have the stories, the thoughts that I have about that wounding? How is that keeping that wound still alive? That wound still open? When we are able to acknowledge and accept and sort of have a little bit of clarity, we're able to reframe that experience. We're able to send either ourselves or the experience some forgiveness, and we're able to move forward. We're able to see other possibilities, opportunities for ourselves. We're able to not have this black cloud that sort of follows us into whatever new experiences, whether it's relationship, work, family, whatever the wounding was in. So I feel like this is obviously, like most things, a practice and a process. It's usually not one and done. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you have that awareness, you have that like aha moment where you're like, oh, that's what I needed to shift. I didn't know, I couldn't see it, or I wasn't able to sense it, but now I know. And so I'm able to move that energy. And just know that with Reiki is kind of to me, a kind of a cool thing, obviously, but it continues to work even after the session. And so I just used a few crystals with that, just keeping it really simple. So I used, I'm pretty sure, green moonstone, which is also called garnierite or something like that, green apatite. And then the last one I used was, I'm going to kill this one, rhodochrosite. I'm not great with the words. It's pink. I know it doesn't look pink, but it looks very taupey. Um, yeah, but it's pink. So I use those just to kind of help things open up, help us to heal, forgive if we need to, and then just be filled with a lot of that love and compassion. There's obviously a lot of emphasis on self-love and self-compassion when it comes to healing, if you didn't pick up on that. So I am a huge advocate for practicing loving kindness for yourself, for sending love to yourself, sending compassion to yourself. So, this is one way of starting that practice. If you don't already have a practice, you are more than welcome to check out my other videos or my other information. I have some blogs on that. If you are wanting to set up a session, you're more than welcome to do that with me. You can get a hold of me again at riversjourneywellness.com. If you're hoping for new opportunities to heal or for personal growth, if you just are thinking like that inside job that needs to happen, I'm ready for that. Well, that's great because, like I said, this is the time for that. So on Sunday of this week, in a couple days, I'm going to be doing my Sacred Circle. It's going to be on Insight Timer instead of Eventbrite and Zoom just offered a lot of hiccups or or possibilities, or I don't know. It was just a lot of opportunities for disaster. So we're going to keep it simple and keep it on Insight Timer. You can find me under my name, but so this Sunday is going to be, oh yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting what it's going to be. So I pulled a couple cards to see what the container was going to be, and we're going to be working with the goddess of winter, of stillness, of meditation, which is kind of cool, Yuki Ono and Yuki Ona. And then we're also going to be working with there was somebody else that I had pulled, and I can't. Oh, Lakshmi. How do I forget Lakshmi? Oh my goodness. So we're working on bringing in abundance in all ways, shapes, and forms into our life. And how are we going to do that? With Panther spirit of reclaiming our power. So if you feel like, oh, I'm still not really sure, not feeling strong or confident in myself, that might be something that you want to come to. All the events are live. If you want to provide a donation, of course, I am more than willing to accept that. I'm always grateful when I receive those donations, so then I can keep providing some free services. And then the next event is going to be Tuesday. That is the 20th, and we're going to be, I put it as tapping into our highest wisdom. We're going to talk about being, manifesting, and becoming. So we really want to embody or be the things that we want to bring into our life so we can manifest, right? Whatever we're hoping to bring into the life, into our life, and then becoming. I feel like we're always in that process of becoming our best self, our most authentic self, whatever really feels like putting ourselves fully out there. And it usually comes in baby steps, which is totally fine. But that's what we're going to be doing Tuesday. And then I think we have another one the following Tuesday. So I'm not going to be here on YouTube Live next Friday, the 23rd, I believe, but I will be back the next week. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, any comments, any thoughts about their old wound. You don't have to put anything private into the chat. But if you're hoping to get a little bit of clarity, I can always pull a card. If you want to get a little insight into that, into what's coming up for you. And I know I've been working a lot with Crow. So I work with animal allies. And so Crow Spirit, I've been working with Crow Spirit for the last week or so, and Crow keeps coming up for me. So part of that is co-creating with Spirit. So if it feels like, I can't do this on my own, or it feels really big to let go, you can always work with Crow as well. Sharon says, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad I know I can't see you, but I'm glad you're here. 100% glad. So, do you want a card, Sharon? I can pull. I have the animal spirit in my hands. You almost got like 50 cards. I have to shuffle this really slowly. I would say it's such a big deck for my hands. All right. Well, oh my gosh, we just got this one. Oops. Badger spirit. Be fearless and bold in your healing of wounds. I love this. I was just telling the Insight Timer group on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it was Tuesday when I was meditating. Badger spirit came to me, and I have some animal allies that I work with consistently. Their energy comes to me pretty frequently. Badger, not so much. So it was really interesting that this one came up for me, and it came up so strong. And here it is again. Be fearless and be bold. Whoops, there we go. Can't get it in the middle. That's awesome. So if anybody, even though I always say, kind of take what resonates, leave the rest. Even if whether it's a general reading, whether it's a specific reading to an individual, I feel like there's always bits and pieces that stick out for all of us. And if you feel like something resonates or you hear something that you're like, oh, that makes sense, then you know that that probably was a message for you. If your intuition makes you pay attention to it, it's probably something that's important. So Badger Spirit rejoices in your persistence and commitment to what is true for you. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith in your partnership with Spirit is paying off, and the results will soon coalesce into form in your world. The gift of Badger Spirit is surety that taking a risk now and being courageous, fearless, and bold will have wondrous results. This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing in the form that Spirit deems best for you. Badger Spirit says, you have what it takes to get what you want, so assert yourself. Be fearless and be bold, shining your light as your purpose calls you into this world. New relationships are also given a green light now. Don't be afraid to make the first move. Badger Spirit loves your brave and mighty heart. I love that. So that one I think is really, really just a nice message for us. And I'm going to pull just a little bit of information also about, being fearless and bold. That can be a little bit daunting when we're talking about like healing old wounds, when we're talking about trying to move past something that maybe has been keeping us stuck. Well, there we go. Oh, this is one that popped out. Healing the heart. Of course. And I did use a lot of heart chakra stones. So this is a different deck that I'm going to read from. So I like to, usually I try to not give my interpretation because I want you to practice using your intuition, looking at the card, hearing the message. Sometimes we get like little intuitive hits of like, oh, I think that's what this means, or this could be that. Sometimes it's part of the image. Sometimes it's the colors. Sometimes it's the name or the word. Whoops, let me get it straight. Sometimes it's just a feeling, a sensation we get. Sometimes it's a knowing we get from the card. That's your intuition letting you know what those messages are for you. So that's huge. And then I read it. You can take the bits, you can leave the rest. And then I give my 2 cents because I want you to have that practice of going within and really trusting your intuition. So couldn't have gotten a better card for today. When you are wounded emotionally, you need time to regroup and find your center. Yes, we do. You may have recently endured a breakup or a betrayal or lost somebody close to you or lost an affiliation that gave you that you gave too much power to. Perhaps you're watching someone go through a difficult time and feel bad that you can't help them. Maybe you're still not over a past disagreement. No matter the cause of this heartache, deep healing is called for. This happens on its own timetable and can never be rushed. The path to healing the heart centers on reciprocity, the flow of giving and receiving. Sometimes wounding occurs because we've become too dependent on one another, and this is accompanied by the desire to manipulate or control an outcome. Both wounding and healing usually begins within, not from the outer conditions of our lives. We often believe we can be wounded only by others. Yeah, only by others, but we do more damage to ourselves if the self-sabotaging way we think and behave, which was my big thing at the beginning. It is important to take steps to heal yourself and become willing to release the pain of the past, which can be tempting to revisit. It's time to take responsibility for your part in this healing journey. Look for ways you can help yourself and others. Are you willing to make amends if you need to, or conversely accept someone where they are without trying to influence their growth process? Healing the heart in all aspects is your priority now. Nothing else matters. Only beauty and goodness will come as a result. I love this card. It is an inside job. It does take a little bit of time, a little bit of practice going within and sort of sitting with, what's going on? Where have I contributed to this? Or um how am I reliving this? By thinking about it, by rehashing conversations, by the stories that we tell ourselves. And it's almost like we get rewounded each time we do that. And we actually, our memory is kind of an interesting thing, because each time we relive it or each time we think about it, we are probably adding details to it, and details from a new perspective, that current perspective that we have. And so it sort of shifts and morphs it. And so something that maybe wasn't as big, and not to discount trauma is big, but not to discount that, but if you are adding things to it, it almost like takes on, energy of its own. It gets bigger on its own. And so we want to sort of put it back into, the perspective of like, what really was that, right? Was there a lesson that I needed to learn? Was there something, even though it was painful, was there something that I needed to work on, improving within myself or changing within myself? Was there an opportunity for me to heal? Was it an opportunity actually to transform? Was it a big message that I needed to really listen to and I hadn't been listening to it? And then that's when the universe was like, okay, we've sent you this a few times. You haven't paid attention. Here it is in a really big way that you can't ignore. Maybe, right? So once we sort of do a little bit of that healing with love and compassion, not with criticism, not with judgment, not with more negativity, not with more animosity or anger towards either the event or the other person or whatever the experience was, but just sending love and compassion to that. And sometimes I don't know why. I don't know why we have to go through some real trials and tribulations in our lives, and sometimes we don't necessarily need to know the why. It was just difficult, and I kind of have to accept that, right? Like above my shoulder, that the red flag is the serenity prayer, right? There's things that we can control in our life. There's things that we can't. Sometimes we just have to get to that place where we really recognize this is out of my control, and I kind of have to let it go. I have to move forward and look at the things that I can control within my life, or look at the things that I can do for myself to heal, to move forward, to make sure that I have other moments in life where opportunities, doors are opening for me. So that message is really coming through with, be fearless and bold in that healing of the heart. And I just want to get a sense of like, sometimes I'm like, well, I can't do it by myself, which you can, but I know I get stuck there. So I'm sure other people do. So who can be available to support us? I'm looking off to my side because I'm still working with Morgan, Death and Magic. I don't know. Can't get it centered today. But I am still working with Morgan. So obviously Morgan is somebody that you can call on to help with endings, to help with releasing, to help with the completion, so that you're making space for, just to be filled with that new fresh magic. But who else is available? Thought that one was coming out and then got stuck. Whoops. Okay. Whoop. I feel like I'm pulling two. Oh boy. No, it's just one. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I've shuffled my cards since Tuesday. Seriously, I have, if you were with me on Tuesday. But we've got Shakti with transformation. So you're really supported, that this is the time maybe that wound is released, that you're able to transform, that you're able to move and shift into something that is higher frequency, higher vibration for you, for your highest good, obviously. But maybe you're getting to that place where you have to release this thing so that you can sort of up level, so you can upgrade, just you, right? Just that next evolution of yourself. So that's pretty amazing to have that support and to have that energy. So if you're looking for how can I get support with this, or how can I release this in a way that feels to me, I'm like effortless would be nice. You can call on Shakti, let her send you signs and synchronicities, connect to her energy through meditation or with intention, and see what shows up for you. Sometimes I feel like when we're giving ourselves that permission to release or let go or to heal, it feels like it gets even bigger. But I'm not really getting that. This feels a little bit more. It does feel gentle and loving with the healing of the heart. I know I talked a lot about love and compassion, but it feels very empowering that it's not going to create more strife for us or more struggle within either that relationship, that experience, whatever it was. When we come from a place when we come from a place of love, which I know is hard, but when we come from a place of like, what's for my highest good, what is going to really allow me to transform into my best self. So hopefully that is helpful. Those are some really nice energy, and I can't believe I do pull cards every day, or almost, maybe not no, every day I would say. And so these decks have been shuffled and shuffled and reshuffled since Tuesday. So that's pretty amazing that we get that same message again. So that's just how it goes. But hopefully this has been helpful for you. If there's nothing else going on, then I'm just going to end a little bit earlier. But you can always reach out to me at riversjourneywellness.com if you have any questions, if you'd like to book a session, or you're welcome to join me on Insight Timer. So no matter when you're watching this, I wish you well, and I'm grateful that you're here with me, whether it's live or later on the replay. And if you have any comments, if you've liked this or enjoyed it, I'd love to hear from you. If you're like, oh, I'm too shy, I can't do that, just maybe hit that kind of thumbs up. Or if you want to hear more about how we can get to that place of being our best version of ourselves, you can always subscribe to the channel and see what comes up. So I won't be here next Friday, but I will be here in 2 Fridays. So take care, and wishing everybody well.